Let me just tell you real briefly about two other things before we're done here. And I know we're coming up close to the end of our time, but I do want to mention this. Not many seniors in the room. Are there any seniors in the room? Yeah, a number of you. Then I want to mention to you that the preparations have begun for the New York Clinic Day and Senior Showcase, which will go on during spring break. Michael Cassara, the New York casting director, who served as our director and showcase consultant last year, has agreed to do that for us again this year. Michael's terrific, did a terrific job with last year's seniors and last year's showcase. And it is also our plan that this year, like last year, that the showcase will be students who participate in the showcase will be chosen by a selection process, that not every senior in acting and musical theater will be part of the showcase. And so as we did last year, there will be a selection. This year we're doing it a little bit earlier so that we can actually begin to communicate with the showcase participants and organize that before the semester ends. So that's going to happen on November 22nd. Now I know that sounds like ages and ages from now, and we'll actually have another convocation between now and then, but I want to mention that because you need to start thinking about headshots, monologues, songs, because all of that is going to be a part of what goes on Monday, November 22nd, right? If you're a senior and you don't have a headshot, you need to make provisions for that. That can be, there are certainly student photographers like Sam Nagel and like Annie Such who will be glad to work with you and can give you a perfectly satisfactory headshot for what you need right now. We did last year have Paul Sirachman, who is a Philadelphia headshot photographer, do portraits of all the showcase participants, which many of them are using now as a headshot, but we wanted a sort of consistency of style. Not sure whether we'll be able to do that again this year or not, but the point is you don't have to go out and spend $1,000 on those fierce, crazy Peter Hurley headshots right now, but you do need to have something by November 22nd. I also would like to encourage the seniors and all of you to, if you haven't done this yet, to create an online presence for yourself, either through actorsaccess.com, which is an industry service that hosts resumes and headshots for free, or if you can also build your own personal website, because one of the things that in the advisory committee we've now agreed it would be a good thing to do would be to build a student showcase page or a student page where people who see you, like somebody comes and sees you in the Seagull and says, wow, that guy's really fierce, I'd like to know more about him, right? And then right now you look at the bio and it says, well, I thanks to mom and dad and Ernie and my girlfriend, and but there's nothing about that professional information. So we want to build a website, something like students.brindschool.org, where if somebody comes, and they do, to our shows, they'll be able to go and see your headshot and click through to either your Actors Access page or your resume page, your personal website. So that's something that we'll be sending out some announcements about, but my goal is to have a working version of this in place for the cast of 9 in a month from now, okay? So if you're in 9, then try and step that up. The other thing I want to mention is that we are going to be accepting applications for our Alumni Mentoring Program. This is the second year of an initiative that was funded by the Dean's Office to try to connect current students in their junior and senior year with alumni working in the industry. And Alyssa is here, Alyssa De Palma, and Kenya is also here. I'm pointing at Kenya, I thought Alyssa was Alyssa's over here. And Alyssa and Kenya both applied for this and were selected for this program last year, right? So they're sort of in the continuation of that now. I'm wondering if you could just maybe say a word or two about what that meant, what you did, and what your application was, and what you wound up doing. You guys want to come up here so that the camera can see you?
I guess I applied. It was first semester.
Right, about this time last year, around Thanksgiving is when the deadline is.
And I ended up meeting with Matt Holtgren, who I think graduated in 2004. And he is now teaching little kids and like high school age so I went on a Saturday and observed all of his classes, and the voice lessons with the little ones, which were really precious. And then got to kind of take part in his teaching at the Walnut, actually. He did an apprenticeship at the Walnut, and you know, kind of made a lot of connections there and still teaches there. And I did some of the exercises with the high school kids that he taught, and it was a lot of really basic action objective stuff, which is, you know, pretty much all of your junior year here. And since I was going through that then, it was very cool to see the connections and to hear about his experiences since he's graduated and the different path he was taking. I think he was an acting major.
Music theater major.
He was music theater?
Yeah.
It was a while ago. The different path he was taking from doing all of this training for performance and then kind of taking a different path and teaching and kind of expanding his resume that way and sharing his craft that way and really introducing it to younger kids who really had this vigorous passion for what they were doing, and it was really cool. And it definitely opened my eyes to the different paths that we can take, and it influenced me wanting to TA this year, and really kind of just opened my eyes to all the different things you can do after you graduate, and it's a really, really great networking connection to make as well.
Perfect. Kenya, how about you?
I had two alumni mentors. Mine was Susan Quinn, who's the Director of Education at the Walnut. Okay. And Catherine McPhee, who is the company manager for Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. And so last year I met with both of them. So Susan just like took me out to lunch and we just talked about like what this program used to be from when she went here, because when she went here it was just theater. There wasn't like DPP, there wasn't acting or musical theater, it was all like one big program. And like how she got to where she was from being a performer and being in musical theater and going out to New York and how she got here to becoming the Director of Education. Very interesting, and you know, I get to like shadow her and go to opening night stuff and all that fun jazz. And then with Catherine McPhee, it was really interesting seeing how do you become a company manager? Because that's what I wanted to do. Like, how do you become a company manager on like one of the biggest Broadway shows like ever? And just hearing her story and like seeing what she does and how it works, which is really interesting, and it really just opens your eyes to like all like what Alyssa said, all the stuff that you can do and networking and opportunities and just getting your foot in the door to like at least knowing the people and being like, hi. So like when you graduate, you're like, remember me? I heard you're looking for an intern. I was your mentee. So really kind of awesome.
Great, yes. So the information about how to apply for this year's Alumni Mentoring Program will be coming out soon. Look for that. Take advantage of that. We have alumni both here in Philadelphia and in New York and other parts of the country who have volunteered, who have said they are willing to take you on as alumni mentees. Okay.